United.
Swapo!
Victorious.
Now!
Hard work.
Swapo!
United.
Swapo!
Victorious.
Now!
Hard work.
Now!
Hard work.
Thank you, comrades. Thank you, Comrade Sophia Naango Shaningwa, our Secretary General, for the floor and for the introduction and for welcoming our new members. And I just want to add to that welcoming that all of you who have joined Swapo, you are now part of the family. And you should understand the rules of the House as clearly stipulated in our Constitution and our political program. And I am directing the district coordinators assisted by the regional coordinators to make sure that all our new members, those who are coming back and those who have never joined any political party, to be taken through our basic documents, the political program, and the Constitution. In particular, for them to understand why we call ourselves comrades. We have something in common, and that is the love of our people, of our country, that we must protect at all times. Let me also thank our directors of ceremonies and to ask to stand at the protocol established while recognizing our traditional leaders present here today, as well as our veterans, among them Comrade Ben Amadila. Comrades, today, the 23rd of November, I stand before you to deliver my second and last statement here in Hobabes, Omaheke region, ahead of tomorrow's concluding Star Rally to be hosted in Windhoek, our capital city. Together, we stand on the foundation laid by our forefathers, whose blood water our freedom. The late Chief Kachikururume Kutako, Chief Samuel Maharero, among others. Those are the people, when we all the time sing, their blood water our freedom. As a people, we are what we are because of our past. It is for this reason that we are obliged to honor the legacies of our forefathers, creating the Namibia they fought for, one that we desire and even want to be a country where every Namibian and everyone visiting want to be in, today and in the future. Comrades, we are here in this election season, whereby we are once again coming to the Namibian people in order for them to renew the mandate they gave us in the past years. And it is just proper that as we are asking this mandate, we must account for what we have done over the years. It's a fact of life for every Namibian that the past 34 years of Namibia's independence have been years of so many challenges. Challenges beyond our control, some of them of natural nature. As part of external those challenges have been with us from the day of our independence. We are all aware, as we were preparing for Namibia to gain her independence, the whole world was tackling the impact of HIV/AIDS, and Namibia was not saved. Therefore, we have to direct resources from other economic activities for us to control that crisis. And thanks to the Swapo Party government, we have managed, to the extent that Swapo Party-led government was one of the first countries that accept to use the antiviral that will protect the unborn child. Today, we are all celebrating that a Namibian child born by an infected parent is born clean of HIV. If that was enough, the global economic breakdown also landed in that has affected so many economic activities, not only in Namibia, but world over. And for Namibia, since independence up to now, we have been always either experiencing drought or experiencing floods. And that has a negative impact in our agricultural production. And we move ahead. If that was not enough, the COVID-19 pandemic has fallen in. However, in face of these challenges, under the responsibility of the Swapo Party, our economy remained floating to the extent that during COVID, our government has even to give out money to all Namibians who needed to be supported. And you can expect somebody to really convince you to say your government has not done anything. Comrades, the past 34 years, as a country, we focused on issues that are required for our economic development, infrastructures and services sectors. For example, the roads, water, electricity, health, education, and many others. And the results are there for all of to see. For example, in the area of education, as we stand now, 98% of a Namibian child has access to education. We know we have now to improve on the quality, and that's why we put it clear in our manifesto. And for Omaheke specifically, we have 50 educational facilities in this region. 4 combined schools, 33 primary schools, 9 secondary schools, and 1 vocational school. That means we have cut the distances for our children to reach these education facilities. but somebody can come and tell you your government has not done anything. Water is another issue where our government has invested in. Of course, because of the drought that I've mentioned already, water remains a challenge because the water level underground has also gone down. And some of the programs of the government has to be affected by such a situation. For example, in Omaheke, we are talking about 1,466 boreholes that has been built by our government. And we are not saying that's enough, but we have done something. And that's what we are saying. Trust us, because we delivered. What we need to do is to deliver more. And that's why in our manifesto, we commit ourselves to seriously look at how best we can make water available sustainably to the Namibian people. We have even committed ourselves to invest on desalination. And this program, we have already started the work. We are not going to plan. And we have many examples to learn from. In this world, there are dry countries who are made green from the seawater. And that's why we decided in our manifesto that we have to invest in that particular program. While we continue to see, also working with our neighbors, how we can utilize the water in our river boundaries. Roads are very important infrastructure for any development to flourish. In Namibia, we know we have invested heavily on road infrastructure. And it's not us who are saying this, that Namibia has competitive roads in the world. Currently, there is no region in Namibia that's not connected with tar roads. Currently, we are working on inland roads, and Omaheke is not neglected. There are road programs that are going on here in Omaheke. Omaheke region is covered with a distance of 5,494 kilometers, with the main road distance covers 1,390 kilometers. The main road, which is now accessible. And the district roads covering a distance of 3,713 kilometers, while the truck roads covers 390 kilometers. And the Hobabes Ochinene Grootfontein Road is one of the classic examples of the road network in the region. Are we not aware of this road? And how can somebody come and tell you your government has not done anything? We must feel proud that Namibia is rated a country with the best roads in our continent. And if you have been following in the media, we have been receiving delegations from different parts of the continent, from different parts of the world, who were coming to learn how we are maintaining our roads. And you want to believe that your government is not doing anything. I can talk about health. As I always say, a healthy nation is a productive nation. And that is why in our election manifesto, we commit ourselves to immediately implement the policy on universal health coverage. We commit ourselves to improve and upgrade our clinics, our health centers, as well as to resource our hospital, and to make sure that these services are brought to closer to the people. Out of over 500 hospitals in this country, 22 of these health facilities are here in Omaheke. 19 clinics, 2 health centers, and a hospital, because we care. We are also to know that when you are looking into these infrastructures, you have also to look at the users so that the resources are balancedly shared throughout the country. Comrades, we should not be fooled. Some people even try to say Netumbo has been in the government since day number 1. Yes, it's true. And I want to affirm that throughout my entire life, I have committed myself and dedicated my life to the people of this country. And I have no reason why to slow down when the people of Namibia are now saying, this is the time for you to come and lead us. I accept. I accept it because I know the Namibian people. I worked with them in different capacities. As a young person, a chairperson of the Swapo Youth League in Ovamboland, a Swapo representative outside the country, as a minister in this country. Yes, I agree that I have been part of the Namibian government since day 1. And I will take credit where things went well as responsibility where things did not go as planned. One thing is for sure, having been serving in this government, it served me as a learning curve through which I gained more leadership and governance experience. To understand the learning curve of experience, I'm talking about the needs of our people. And I can also want you to go and track my record where I've been given responsibility in different ministries. And I'm saying this not to make proud of myself, but to make proud of the Swapo party and the Namibian people who allowed me that responsibility. I can talk about as a Minister of Women Affairs and Child Welfare, because there are so many things, comrades, that you know. But for your refresher, I will only mention one thing that remains fundamental, that remains celebrated in every ministry where I went. I started with the Ministry of Women Affairs and Child Welfare. Today we are celebrating the national coverage of the children's grants. Don't we know that? These are the things introduced by Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah as a Minister of Women Affairs and Child Welfare. And that is why the children today are getting that grant. I can talk about the Minister of Information and Broadcasting. Where's the community radio in Hobabis, which I have set up here in that ministry? And I can also talk about the radio stations that I send to remote areas, including Tungwe. I went there myself, opened it, and today the people of Tungwe are listening to the radio in their own language. Everybody needs to be taken care of. I went to the Ministry of Environment and Tourism. I established the Environmental Management Fund. That fund has now grown from million to billion, and all the communities here are beneficiary of that fund. We even became a consultant for other environmental funds in other countries in the region and beyond. You are talking about Netumbo. I came to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the International Relations and Cooperation, which is now the new name. It was Netumbo who introduced the discussion on women and peace in the Security Council. And the Resolution 1325 was adopted. And the Women Peace Agenda is an important agenda in the international arena. And for Namibia to push this agenda, we have opened up the International Women's Center. This is the implementer that you are talking about. And this is the person you must trust. Therefore, comrades, I'm saying, trust the Swapo party for having made sure that in very difficult conditions, our economy did not collapse. Trust Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah because you invested in Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. All the years you have been giving her different responsibility is your investment. When I attended the international conference, I was not paying myself. It was taxpayers' money. It was your money because you wanted me to learn and come back and invest what I have learned in the country. Now I'm ready. Give me that opportunity. Comrades, I like this. Rain is coming. It's a good omen. Comrades, Omaheke region is a cut-off region. Omaheke region is a farming region. And there are quite many successful farmers in Omaheke. There are so many successful farmers in Omaheke. And we cannot really avoid not to be part of job creation in this region. Because agriculture, be it crop production or livestock, is very important, not only for food security, but for job creation. Omaheke, do we know that we are importing job from our region? Because we do not do value addition. And in our election manifesto, we are emphasizing on value addition. Natural resources beneficiation we are talking about value addition. I would therefore like really to see Omaheke that will become one of our processing center in as far as agricultural products are concerned. Comrades, we are talking about malnutrition. When I visited Omaheke, I was encouraged that the dairy farmer near the town of Hobabes is going to be revived because milk is needed as part of our nutrition content. And I am sure together we must make that work. In our manifesto, we committed ourselves that every year we have to put aside 500,000 Namibian dollars specifically for nutrition purpose. It is not a secret because it was a headline in this country. Malnutrition high in Omaheke region. I immediately visited Omaheke to familiarize myself and to see what is really happening. I had a very good discussion with the leadership, and the governor comforted me, saying, Minister, based on these discussions, we are going to work hard to make sure that we combat that malnutrition. And I'm happy they have just done that. As we stand now, malnutrition has drastically reduced in Omaheke. You can go now to Hobabes Hospital. You might find 1 or 2 children. But the day I visited, when I came here that time last year, the ward was full. Comrade the governor and your team, congratulations. That is the teamwork that we need if we have to move. I want to thank your initiative, Comrade Governor, and your diplomatic governance skill that you also found a partner under an organization called Head Start Kid Global Trust that has introduced micronutrient to children aged 0 and 5. I was happy to meet the delegation today because these are the programs that we need as a country, that we need as a region, that we need as a continent, in order for us to take care of our children, in order for us to make sure that a Namibian child, an African child, is taken care of from day one. In fact, while he or she is being carried by the mother. Because those are very critical stage for the growth of everybody. We have therefore to make sure that agriculture is the sector we must invest in. The Swapo party-led government is conducting a feasibility study aimed at developing irrigated pasture and a crop system in Epukiro and Aminius communal areas. And this is the research that is required here. And these irrigated projects are designed to improve resilience against the impact of climate change. It is therefore necessary that, comrades, those of us who will be given such a responsibility must perform to the best of our ability. In our election manifesto, we are focusing on service delivery. It does not help for you to have good programs, for you to have good policies. But if there are no implementers, it's just as good as nothing is happening. And it's true that some of the challenge we are facing in this country is those who are given responsibility and they do not perform, thus making others to suffer. The Omaheke governor, working with the regional council, have also set up these soup kitchens, which are meant as a bridging gap. Because you remember, we say what is also required is not just to take care of the children when they are at the institutions, but to strengthen the capacity of the parents, so that when the children, they go back to homes, they get the same treatment. Comrades, our manifesto is for us to complete and to develop more developmental programs that are required to take our people out of poverty. And poverty can only be tackled when people are employed. The challenges I mentioned earlier, all of them have a negative impact on employment. And that is why the biggest challenge we face in Namibia is unemployment, which is mostly, rightly so, affecting our youth, who are the majority of our population. Hence, the theme of our election manifesto, a theme which is not just a political statement, but is an implementable program. Unity in diversity. We value unity, and we recognize our diversity. And we are saying we should not be divided because of our different tribes, because our different cultures. In fact, our tribes, our cultures should be our strength. Then we go further to talk about natural resources beneficiation and the youth empowerment for sustainable development. Yes, I will keep repeating this because I believe in it. Looking at our natural resources, looking at our population, 3.1, we are just too few to be poor. We are just too few to be poor, comrades. And that is why we must add the value to our natural resources. At the AU level, a decision, a resolution was taken that at least to start with, 15% of Africa natural resources should not leave the continent unprocessed. Because we cannot continue to allow young Africans to follow their jobs, risking their lives in high seas. Because when we are exporting our natural resources and process, we are exporting the job of an African youth. Namibia, we can start. Others have started. We must add it to them. And we mean what we are saying in our election manifesto. Youth empowerment. You are the majority. You are the majority of our population. You are the future of our country. I'm on the transition, basically, preparing to hand over to you a strong party, a strong country, which you'll be able to safeguard when you are going to hand it over to the next generation. And that's why our election manifesto has put emphasis on job creation. We said in our manifesto, in the next 5 years, we will put aside 85.7 billion for job creation. When we issued our manifesto, some were saying we used artificial intelligence. They check around, they failed. They called so-called economists. They were trying to see when they can, whether they can tear apart the Swapo election manifesto. They failed completely. This is a realistic document. It's implementable and it is affordable. We are going to implement it. Give us that responsibility and you'll be able to see the result in the next 5 years. Our manifesto is calling for us to be very strategic and definitely will be very strategic. I said we are going to vote for a president for the country, and that will be a Swapo presidential candidate, yours truly. You are going to vote members of parliament, and those are the 96 people we have in the Swapo lists. Now I want to tell you that before they go on leave, these people you are going to vote on the 27th November, we must have a retreat for us to start implementing our manifesto. The last chapter of our manifesto is monitoring and evaluation. Hence, that retreat is to develop the monitoring and the implementation mechanism. We need also that retreat because the government is already to start to develop and to work on the budget of 2025-2027. And that budget will be the first year to implement the manifesto. So they need to know the plan. That retreat will be led by Swapo Central Committee. So it will be those to be elected and Swapo Central Committee members, because they are the ones who are going to monitor the implementation of the manifesto. While those in parliament and in government, they will be the implementer. And I will not accept a person who is in that implementation, and when the monitoring mechanism want information, you are reluctant. That will not be accepted. That will not be accepted. Therefore, comrades, we must be proud of our party. Swapo Party is guided by the Namibian Constitution. And one important structure in our Constitution is the recognition of the traditional authorities. And that is why we, within our limited resources, we do take care of our traditional authorities. Here in Omaheke, there are 2 offices of the traditional authorities which were recently being constructed. Those are infrastructure that will be used by the community, because the traditional authorities, they are the ones who are closer to the people, and hence they need the facilities that will make it possible for them to serve. Comrades, we have only 4 nights, basically 3 days for us to be prepared. And as we are preparing, there is one thing very interesting, that for the first time, the international media is very much interested in the Namibian election. It's very interesting that individuals outside the region, outside the continent, are very interested in the Namibian elections. I don't have a problem for Tutu or whatever coming from Namibians saying whatever. I don't have a problem, because it's a Namibian election. But if they are coming from outside Namibia, I'm worried. What is the interest? Is it our oil and gas? That's why I'm saying these 3 days we must think critically of what we want and where do we want to take this country. Swapo party sends its information. Our interest is in the Namibian people and Namibia. We are not sponsored. We don't have sponsors. There are those accountable to our sponsors. We are not in Swapo. We are accountable to the Namibian people, because they are the ones we have been saving. So therefore, comrades, the future of this country is in the hands of Swapo party. And make sure you put it in the right hand. The special voters, they read the map. They read the map. They know what is happening. Some of them are our diplomats outside. They see what is happening. Our security sector, they are following what is happening globally. What is the history? When these resources are discovered, there are only 2 ways: to be a blessing, whereby it will be under the responsibility of the people of that country, or to be a curse. Others will come in and the turmoil will start in our country. We should choose for our oil and gas to be a blessing. In making sure we take it, we put it under the care of the Swapo party. A party with a history. A party that cares for our people. And your candidate, truly, I am from that generation of liberation. Can you imagine somebody saying, the problem with Netumbo, she has a mentality of liberation? What is that? I'm proud to have a mentality of liberation, because having liberated the people of Namibia politically, I am now ready to liberate them economically. The opposite of liberation is oppression, colonialism. So they want to continue colonizing us economically. And Netumbo, when talks about Namibians, I am talking about Namibians. Our history is a history that has to strengthen us. And we are a nation that is made up, blacks and whites. We cannot hide it. It's a reality. But the most important thing is a Namibian. A Namibian white investing in Namibia is supporting the Namibian economy and all Namibians. And when I talk about unity in diversity, we must embrace one another. We should really mature from looking at ourselves, blacks and whites. You just don't want to lead a nation that when you go in one part of the country, or you go in one office, you only find this one and not this one. In the other one, and not this one. And I really want to thank the farming community who are really embracive and coming on board. I'm a farmer. You see, now when we have our bure braai, it's no longer the bure that you are talking about. We are now using the Afrikaans language. You can be black, but if you are a farmer, you are a bure if I have to speak in Afrikaans. Yes, you are farming. Basically, you are farming. Yes, in our farms, we organize bure braai. Yes. And you found we are mixed. Yes. And this is what I want to see in Namibia, in all honesty. I want that. We must really develop our country as Namibians. History should remain there to strengthen us, but we should not hold in history of dividing ourselves. I therefore want to thank all of you, comrades. You have worked so hard. You have worked so hard in the past months since we started our election campaign, starting with the launch on the 14th September. And now we are what do you call the time? The injury time. When you are in soccer. Election started on the 13th. And it has shown us the direction. This is now injury time. Everyone defend your territory. Swapo, defend your lead that you got from the special vote. This injury time, defend your territory for you to maintain the lead. They are dreaming, comrades. What do they want to do? What are they telling us they are going to do in order to take the people of Namibia out of balance? They should tell us. This so-called whatever you don't know, I don't even want to mention. We have to defend our territory, which was clearly pointed out by the special voters, by ensuring that the remaining days we continue to be closer to our people. We should teach our people how to vote so that we don't want spoiled ballot papers. Your voting this time around is very easy. You just look at the blue book. Look at it from the bottom, is quicker. You get your ballot paper for presidential elections, then from bottom, you will see your blue book. And then, of course, Maniki, the names are also there. But the blue book is the most catch that you must not forget. Then you get your ballot paper for National Assembly. Again, just start from the bottom, the blue book, you'll find it there. And just exactly as you see that mark, you put your marker there. You put your marker there, the blue book. Think of the blue sky. Think of the blue water. Majestically is what you get there. That's what it is, comrades. Don't make mistake. Your party has shown that it can resist all the challenges that comes. And for now, we are ready to continue improving into the living standard of our people. Social grants, we have already started with the targeted basic grants. And here in Omaheke region, 55,000 people are beneficiaries of drought relief. Over 1,000 people are benefiting from our social grant. Because of unemployment, that's why, as a bridging gap, we have introduced the targeted basic grant. The money to be given to the people who are below 60, but they are not veterans, which means they are not getting veteran grants. They are not children because they are not getting children's grant. They are not living with disability as they are not getting disability grant. They are not pensioners as they are not getting pension. It's that category of people whom we have now started this year to give the targeted grants. But our appeal for those responsible, please register the people, the target group. What happened with the veteran when people who were not supposed to be registered were registered? As a result, we are not able to take care of the veterans. Therefore, comrades, I will end by asking all of us to maintain our campaign until the designated time. Let us also make sure that our voters' cards are safe. They are in our care ourselves. Let us not trust our voters' card on anybody's care, because, as our coordinators say, that is the bullet you have when you are going to vote. If we were going to our Congress, I say one bullet finish. You understand, Swapo members? You understand? One finish, one finish, one growth finish. No time for us to make second round. Where do we even go to resources? It will cost us. So we must just make it a goal. And that is only possible when all our young people, when all our elders, when all peacefully Namibians vote for Swapo Party and yours truly, Netumbo. Ndempelila, Netumbo, Nandi-Ndaitwah. I have to say it now, as you see, the Secretary General has really given me a job, because the name now is registered, not in Netumbo first, so we have all to learn to say Ndempelila Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. That's how it is on the ballot paper. Swapo! Swapo! Now, viva Omaheke, viva! Viva Omaheke, viva! Viva! Swapo! Swapo! Victorious! Viva Comrade President Sam Shafishuda Nyoma! Viva! Viva Comrade Ifike Punyepohamba! Viva! Let the spirit of Comrade Hage Genkop lay in peace. Viva! Viva Comrade Nangolo Mbumba! Viva! Viva Comrade Sofia Nango Shaningwa! Viva! Viva Comrade Erunga! Viva! Viva the Women's Council! Viva! Viva the Elders Council! Viva! Viva the Youth League! Viva! Viva the Pioneers! Viva! Viva the Workers! Viva! Viva the Veterans! Viva! Viva NECA! Viva! Viva Omaheke! Viva! Viva Comas! Viva! Viva Karas! Viva! Viva Ardap! Viva! Viva Erongo! Viva! Viva Ochogonjupa! Viva! Viva Kunene! Viva! Viva Msati! Viva! Viva Oshana! Viva! Viva Oshikoto! Viva Ohangwena! Viva Kavango West! Viva